Hey, I just wanted to make a really quick video because I was sketching some ideas for a logo, and I get often asked, what brush settings do you use when you're sketching ideas in Photoshop? So we're just going to jump into it now. You can see I've got a few sketches here in a minute. We'll do some more in a second, but the brushes that I use are the default ones, believe it or not. So I always grab my brush tool here, and I like to sketch in Photoshop first because I used to make the mistake years ago of jumping straight into Illustrator. My logo design style is very clean, minimal, and geometric. So it's very easy for me to grab shape tools and pen tools and start there. But actually, when you get pencil and paper or stylus, iPad, whatever it is, and you just sketch those ideas and you get them from your brain onto the page, I find it happens so much faster and I tend to get better creative ideas. So I've got my brush tool selected up here. We've got the settings. This is probably my favorite brush. I use this for photo manipulation. I use it for digital painting and artwork. I use it for sketching. It's just incredible. You can get some other fantastic brushes, but this one for me does like 90% of everything I do. There's just a few settings we got to change. So it's the soft round pressure, opacity, and flow brush. Bit of a mouthful. Now the main settings that I like to work with are hardness. If you crank it up, let's adjust the size there. You're going to get a much harder brush, and honestly that looks a bit rubbish. And then what you can do is go down and you get a much softer brush. This can be very good for shading, but also sketching as well. And if you make it really small like this is the other setting that I overlooked for years, and it's the flow value. Now this is best if you're using some sort of graphics tablet or pen display. I'm using a pen display here. If I just show you this at 100%, you can see it's just way too hard, right? But if I shrink the brush down nice and small and I drag the flow to somewhere between 20 and 40%, go on Dan, let's be cheeky and go for 28. You can see here, if I adjust my pressure as well on the pen display, you can sketch quite nicely. So rather than me just draw a bunch of lines and then go, hey, look at what I made, I'm just going to actually do some sketching. So this is a logo that I'm not going to go into the full context of it, but essentially I'm trying to create a letter S in the shape of a flame. It's to do with a sauna. I saw a logo earlier and I felt a little bit triggered because it had this insane border and it was just awful. And I just had this idea and had to run with it. So first of all, I forgot something already, a bit naughty, but create a new layer. Put different ideas and things on different layers because then you can turn them off, turn them on, and move things around as well. So I'm just going to freely sketch some ideas here. So we'll go with like the shape of a flame. So I'm just going to very lightly press, and I do this in a few stages as well. So you can see here I'm pressing quite lightly just to get the rough kind of body shape in. Now this could be confused with a droplet, and that's a fair comment, but then we're just gonna try and make it a little bit more flame-like, like so. So we're still doing this super light. Honestly, you don't need to overthink this. Some of my sketches can be a little bit more higher fidelity when I work on them. Some of them are just awful. That's fine. When you come to digitizing it in something like Illustrator, I often find that that's the easier part, coming up with that really clever idea. That's the bit that I find takes a bit of time. So this is great. This is like a flame, but it's not got a letter S in it, which is pretty awful. So we failed already, Dan. Let's see if we can save this. So we're going to just maybe do this and try and get that S in there. This is probably a little bit thin there. Let's zoom in. Something like this. You see this is becoming a bit messy. Just E for the eraser tool. And then we can just go and remove some of the line work as well. And then B for the brush tool. We can just go back in. This bit here, I've kind of mucked this up a little bit. So we're just going to erase some of that. Maybe come in a bit tighter. This part of the S, something like that. We can again just clean up bits that are a bit scrappy if we need to. So I'm just pressing E and B to switch from the eraser tool to the brush tool. And I think we need to rebalance this a bit. This area here definitely needs to come a little bit lower, and we actually kind of need to get some flames in here or something because it's not really looking like fire at the moment. So let's go for an S that is a little bit like that. So we're going to kind of have that tail of the S a bit more flame-like. Bring this up here, and then maybe we could sort of embellish this top area a bit and just kind of come outside of that initial frame that we defined. We could sort of taper this part in here, this kind of neck area, if this was a swan. Actually, there we go. That makes a pretty good swan logo. Hey, my name's Steve the Swan. Let's try something like this. And then maybe we bring this part in a little bit more here, round that off. Now, The trick here, I think, is going to be getting this looking a lot more flame-like, because what we're trying to do is balance the iconography of a flame or fire symbol. It's intended to represent sauna. I don't know if I mentioned that. We're trying to balance that with an S, but we kind of want the S to at least look like an S. This is probably going to be a little bit more of a brand mark rather than part of any sort of lettering, but I still want it to be recognizable as an S. So you can clearly see there is the flame and there is the S. Those are the two elements that we need to get. Now, I'm not going to sit here and absolutely nail this in the next few minutes, but I just wanted to show a little bit of the sketching process beyond just the brush settings, because I think this is something that a lot of creatives don't necessarily see. I know we sometimes do this on the lives, but I think it's that design thinking as well. You know, well, what is the thought process that connected A to B to D to C? So, and you might notice as well, as I'm going through this, I'm absolutely trying to smooth out these scrappy lines, but I'm also pressing a little bit harder. So maybe this one here, we're getting somewhere. We're getting closer to something. I don't know if it's good. And of course, when it comes to this is just a sketch, but we want to have as balanced a sketch as possible. So we can do some lines like this. So I've got this center line here running through everything. So maybe I think that this side is a bit more weighted and this side here needs a little bit more to just kind of try and shift that balance optically. So we could do those guides on a separate layer, which is useful. Like I mentioned earlier, layers can be quite useful in this sense, but I'm just going to extend this over a little bit more and then curve it back in. So I'm just going to try and make sure that the symbol itself isn't effectively tipping over to one side. We definitely don't want a wonky S. We don't want that. So I think this is looking, actually, it's looking all right. It's looking surprisingly good. So at this point, I would then, we could duplicate the layer and save this. Sometimes I get concepts that I work on and I'm like, that's really good. I don't want to screw this one up. So we'll hide that layer and we'll work on a copy. So that can be one option. I'm feeling pretty confident with this. So I'm going to now just go over this. And what you can do is you can refine your sketch using that same brush, same settings. Just maybe press a bit harder, a bit more confidently. Or what we could do is we could crank the flow value up. So let's go for 70. No, that's 80. 80. Come on, Dan. You remember your numbers. 84. And we're just going over this a little bit more. And to be honest, actually, just to show you another technique as well, what we could do is go back to what I showed earlier and have the hardness up. And yeah, that looks pretty good. We could crank the smoothing up. Now this may introduce a little bit of a kind of lag or delay as you draw because it is calculating things as you're drawing and smoothing them out. You can see that's absolutely rubbish, but it's very smooth rubbish. So what we're going to do now is I'm working on a separate layer. We'll bring this down and we're just going to try. Oh, there's a little bit of a delay, but we're going to try and that's a terrible start, Dan. You do have to compete with the delay a bit. Maybe we could bring it down. There we go. There's a balance of mouse pen lag and smoothness. This will do for now, though, just to kind of demonstrate what I'm trying to demonstrate. And we're going to go around. Come on, you could do it in one go. Oh, so yeah, that gives me at least a better idea of how this concept could look. And then what we could do is grab the paint bucket tool. I was going to call it the fill tool then for some reason. Same thing. It does that, which is a little bit annoying, but I'm just going to drop that smoothness and very, very quickly just brush all of this in. There probably is a faster way to do this, but my brain is malfunctioning as per usual. And actually I quite like doing this and just sketching. There we go. In fact, what we could have done is we could have made a selection of that inside part actually and gone to modify and expanded it that way. But there we go. We're here now. And then we could go and grab the eraser tool and we could kind of use this to cut bits away. So when I find ideas that I think I look at and like go, that's got potential. I like that. I'm going to invest some time in getting the line work clean and refining that. This is what I will tend to do. So I'll take it more from a sketch to clean line work to then adding in those fills. And you can rotate the canvas with R on the keyboard as well, and then double click this tool to just reset it. This is very useful when you are using a stylus because just sketching at the right angle can make all the difference when you're trying to get those smooth lines. So what I will do is take something like this a bit further, do the line work, do the fill, and then this kind of gives me a good idea as to whether this is actually a concept worth following, digitizing, and there's only a few here. I started this literally, like 20 minutes ago. So I don't know where this is going to go, but yeah, those are the brush settings that I use when I'm sketching ideas for logos and doing most things in Photoshop. Honestly, I know they're simple, but I think sometimes the old ways are best. And it just works. It just works. There's some great brushes out there, but for a lot of this stuff, I don't really use them. Yeah, so if you did find this video, this slightly different, a bit more raw style of video, helpful, honestly, let me know down in the comments. I'm more than happy to do more of this type of video. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.